right. Interesting title here. Doesn't, really give us a lot, especially maybe not from a horror standpoint to kind of guess on. So let's see what the IMDb plot has to say, and then we'll take it from there. When a traveling stamp dealer gives a ride to a woman on the run from her abusive boyfriend, he soon discovers that their dark pasts are intricately linked and that she isn't just a ride. She's after revenge. All right. After reading that, I wish I didn't read that. I guess it kind of gives away a little bit much, but anyway, it does. So, I will say to start here at the top, this was a screener sent to me, so a screener review. So there are some twists and turns in it, and definitely some big twists and turns in it. So I will definitely keep all that a secret for you guys, so you guys can enjoy it when you watch it. This one, I don't know if it was its premiere, but it definitely was shown at Fright Fest. And maybe kind of you got from the description there, maybe I wouldn't say this is necessarily a horror movie. This is definitely more of a thriller. So if you're looking for maybe more of a thriller to watch or to be interested in, this is more that than kind of horror. But sometimes we got to review some thrillers too. There's good ones out there. So why not? So, kind of diving into this one, mostly follows the stamp dealer here. You get a kind of brief introduction to what he's doing and himself. You're going to learn a lot about him as the movie goes on and his past. He's, early on, you're going to see he kind of suffers from insomnia. Has a hard time sleeping and dreams and whatever. So, that's going to play a role in what's, happening with him and why he has that and so forth. And you're going to find out, like I said, about him as we go on, leave that out, as part of not spoiling it for you guys. But basically, he's on a mission here at this time of the film as the film kind of picks up in his life. Where he has some very special stamps, and he's trying to make a delivery of these stamps to an individual. It's a big deal, an important deal. It's supposed to get him a lot of money, and so forth. So that's kind of what he's doing in the movie, and. Eventually, he's going to come across, as it said there in the plot, a woman who seems like she wants some help, and so forth. And he's not really buying it at first. He's like, why you pick me? You could have sought help from anybody else. He's kind of suspicious of her, but then she kind of convinces him, no, I'm not up to no good. Just kind of, can you help me? And, she's running from a boyfriend who's abusive and so forth and following her himself. And, he, is very cautious with her, but, kind of has that soft spot. He just, really can't say no. He tries to say no, but, at every turn, he's really saying yes. Definitely some interesting stuff, some interesting conversations between the two, and definitely, kind of playing off this, he doesn't really trust her thing, but then, and she, almost in some ways, gives him reason not to, but then does. They definitely have a good kind of back and forth going between them, and so forth. He eventually, kind of agrees that he's going to drop her off. I think it was at her mother's house, or at a certain point, closer to whatever her destination is, while he's trying to deliver, he has a deadline to make, and he has to get the stamps to a certain place at a certain time. But obviously that's going to get kind of sidetracked along the way. And again, keeping this spoiler free, I don't want to get too far into that and give anything away in that respect to kind of where that goes. Okay. I was just checking to see. Yeah, the movie's just short of an hour and a half, so yeah, it's gonna move along for you guys. It's not anything like that. Um, like I said, I think the movie's going to kind of give you some clues. Like I said, some of the dreams he has, and so forth. I think, you might be keen to, maybe a thing or two. But definitely, like I said, there's going to be a couple of twists and turns in the back half of the film. Some good ones. Like I said, once they kind of meet, they, like I said, they're gonna have some interesting conversations. Maybe some light humor there. I mean, maybe not from his standpoint. It's really funny, but at least, I think it's kind of entertaining. Kind of the caution that he has with her, but then again, always saying yes to kind of protecting her, being on her side. And he's very kind of alert to is the boyfriend coming? Where is he coming from? And that kind of thing. I will say that I liked some of the twists and turns that came. It's going to be one of these films where, certain events happen and then the movie's going to kind of stop and kind of rewind and kind of show you, what's really happening or certain things that did happen along the way to kind of get you to where you are. So it is one of those movies, so it will do that. But yeah, I was fine with that because, of course, it kind of, fills in some gaps and helps with the twist of this story and so forth. So, yeah, I was fine with all that. I thought it was, very well constructed as far as how they put that together and kind of giving you a little clues, but keeping it, well hidden and then unpacking it for you. And then I think, the end kind of ramps up the, a little bit of the suspense and tension there and gives you a good, thriller-like ending. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to get too much into it. But I think it will give you a pretty satisfying ending, especially with the way the film kind of was going, and especially once you find out what is truly happening here. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, say too much, and get too far into it. So I think if you're looking for kind of a thriller that's more going to hit you up with kind of a twist towards the end, maybe not a huge amount of action. There's some towards the end, obviously in the final act when we really get down to what's going on here. But not maybe a whole lot, as the film is kind of going on. Like I said, it's less than an hour and a half, so, it's, just because it doesn't have a ton of action doesn't mean it's kind of boring you or anything. I think, it's all about kind of keeping clued into certain things that are happening and certain conversations and so forth. So everything will completely make sense, even though they're really going to show you, in case you're really not sure or whatever, they are going to go through and show you everything. But yeah, so I thought they did a good job of that. And I think I was kind of very pleased, once the movie ended, with everything that kind of unfolded and how they kind of hit it and released it and so forth. So with that, I think I'm going to give this one 3.5 pools of blood. I enjoyed it. Again, not a horror movie, not blood and guts and that kind of thing, but still a very, very solid movie with how they pulled it off. So I think I'm going to go 3.5 pools of blood out of 5 for this one. So with that, horrorsgoryreviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all my reviews written in videos, certainly tons of video reviews for a while now, so you can like and subscribe and do everything else that everybody wants to do here on YouTube. If not, it is okay. I thank you for your time regardless. Twitter, Facebook information down below as well, so feel free to reach out to me there. If you want to talk about horror, this movie and other movies, something you want me to review, And definitely in the comment section, once you guys kind of catch up to this movie, if you do see it, feel free to share your thoughts. And again, I will try to include the link to the press information we had for it, so you guys can, if you need a little bit more information about it, can find out there as well. So with that, I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.